you will never know how amazing you are and how amazing you can be. Before we begin, I would like to ask you, how many of you have a goal you would really like to achieve? Crazy. Yeah, it's almost all of us, yeah? And maybe some areas of your life you would like to see different results. Do you have those areas in your life where you would like to see some different results? It can be any goal or any area of life which is important to you. And please share with me how many of you have achieved a goal or a dream in your life, and when you first set that goal, you had no idea how you're gonna achieve that. Have you had that experience?
Yeah.
Yes. So it's almost all of us. And this actually proves that we are much more capable than we know. So right now I see amazing individuals in front of me. And there is something seeking to emerge in every single one of you as life. And think about tiny seed, breast seed. It has the power to push through cement to experience life and growth. And good seeds planted and nourished over time always bear fruit of the seed it is. Just like your dreams in your own mind. Just like your goals. And life is always seeking a fuller, freer, expanding expression through you. Your energy, your ideas, your dreams, they are all expressions of life through you. And would it be true to say that we all want to experience more happiness, more joy, more fulfillment, more abundance, and make a more meaningful contribution? Will it be true to say that?
100%.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is life seeking to express itself through you. So, my name is Marina Zakharova. I'm a transformational coach, time management tutor, youth mentor, entrepreneur, and an owner of MarinaLifeGroup. And I want to ask you, have you ever felt overwhelmed? Have you ever felt lack of motivation? Lack of energy? Or even burned out? Have it?
Yes, of course.
So I've been helping people to successfully overcome similar challenges for a long time, so they could feel motivated, energized, become more balanced, more fulfilled, and change their life for the better. And today I'm going to share with you my knowledge and some useful tips how to approach your life to always win. and create the life you truly love living. So there are two major ways people approach their life. They either live by default. Default behavior is easy, it is familiar, it is predictable, it is safe. But relying too much on it actually limits us from experiencing more fulfilling life, from actually experiencing personal growth and learning opportunities. It is the comfort zone of what is familiar, even if it's not really good for you, if it's not enlightening you, if it's not like giving you fulfillment, but it's familiar. And people living by default, they spend more time on planning their grocery list or vacation than planning life they truly love living. And on the other hand, highly successful people take time to create life by design. They set a clear intention of what they would love. They set goals, they develop their vision of life, and then consciously create what they want in life. And we all want to live happy, fulfilled life, but do you actually know how would that look like? Do you actually know what do you want? And all of you raised hands when I asked if you have dreams or goals. So everybody has. But did you take actually time to develop a vision of your life, the small details, a real picture of how it would look like? You will never achieve a dream or a goal if you don't have one. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
So the key principle is, like, number one key principle of creating life you truly love, of creating change and result in your life that you would really enjoy, is to design your dream. Next, to create that transformation in your life, to create success and fulfillment that we are all looking for, you need to decide for your dream. For example, guys from PAC just said, yeah, you can do this and this. And we all know that we can do something, but do we actually do that? We need to decide that, yes, I go for it. So the power, intelligence, and resources you need to achieve a big dream or goal will come when you make a decision to fully commit to living your big dream. And while working with my clients, helping them to achieve their goals and dreams, I usually have that question from them. Am I worthy of that dream? And first answer I give them is, you are worthy of any dream because you dreamed it. If it is in your head, that means you have resources and you have all the abilities to achieve it. Of course, maybe you will have to learn something, to improve your skills, to work on yourself, of course. But you are capable. Remember? Most of us had that experience when we set the goal and we didn't know how we will achieve it, but we actually did it. So the second question I actually ask them after they ask me that is your dream worthy of you? You are going to dedicate your time, your resources, your energy, your life force to achieve that goal or dream. So is that worthy of you, first of all? Is that worthy of your time? Does that have something good for you and for others as well? Because fulfillment comes from serving people, not only selfish dreams. They usually don't work because they don't bring you the success, fulfillment, and internal satisfaction that you are looking for. So before setting your goal or dream and going for that, ask yourself, is this dream worthy of me? Is it good enough for me? And of course, to create that transformation, to make that dream possible, goal possible, act from your dream. Act from your dream. I want to emphasize that word, from. Don't wait until something happens, because it's never gonna be a perfect time. Just act from your dream every single day. Whatever you need to do, just do something. And in time, it's gonna create a new result in your life. So explore your dream, set goals, and take inspired actions. Life is an adventure, a beautiful journey, and only you decide how your life would actually look like and with what it will be filled. And it is not only your power, but also your responsibility to actually create that life for yourself, because nobody will do it for you. Nobody. You're the only person who can make it happen. And I'm invited. Do you want to make a quick assessment, life assessment, where you are right now in terms of living a fulfilling and happy life? Would you like to do that? Okay.
That's right.
So, where are you right now? In a green zone, which means I know what I love in every area of my life, and I'm living from my dream life every single day. I'm taking steps, I'm doing something, and I'm actually living my dream life. The yellow sector is I know exactly what I want in every area of my life. I love my vision, but I'm not living from my dream yet. And the red sector is I actually haven't spent any time designing a life I love, and mostly live my life day to day by default. So where are you? I'm asking you to be very true to yourself and assess where you are right now. Just acknowledge where you are standing right now. Does anybody want to share? Are you in green, yellow, or red zone?
6.
Okay. Yeah, 1 is red zone, 10 is green zone, and something in between. Yeah. Can I ask you, like, how many of you are in the red zone? And it is a safe space. It's absolutely okay to be vulnerable and to acknowledge we all actually sometimes find ourselves in that red zone. All of us, there is no exceptions. And if you are somewhere in red or in yellow zone, which is absolutely normal, and of course, every single one of us want to have 10 out of 10, yeah?
Yeah.
But if we could experience our life at 7 or at 8, wouldn't that be great?
True.
Yeah, it would be great. So I'm inviting you to answer that question for yourself now. Where would you love to be? Love, not what other people tell you to do, not what your mom, your parents, your friends, or social media wants you to do. What would you love to see in your life? Be honest to yourself. See that.
Green zone.
But what exactly is green zone for you? What is exactly, what does that mean? What that green zone means for you? I mean it. It's so important to create a vision so you can live your life by design. Design your dream. It's so inspiring. How many of you dream? Just like dream. Oh, I would be there, like I will be looking like this, or I will be doing this. How many of you dream?
I dream a life with no bills.
That's so true.
Oh yeah. How would you feel? How would you
That's so
feel
true.
if you had no bills?
That's a good dream. But would you consider someone who is not dreaming to be in the default? Because when I see the explanation of the default is whereby you're comfortable where you are, like you're living life by the goal, like you live each day as it comes. So like I just shared with them, like I even don't know my dream.
Yeah. And how do you feel living that way?
I think I feel okay because like there's no so much pressure for me.
It's comfortable, yeah?
Yeah, like I'm just in the default end. And maybe due to your explanations and all that, I realized like I could be missing something. Maybe I just have to get a little bit ambitious and see how I can stretch. Maybe I'll also dream. And also something else is like trying to live, to fake it until I make it. All right?
You know, first we create mentally, and then it's being created in physical world. Every single thing that actually surrounds us first was what? Just a thought, an idea. This table was someone's idea. This laptop was someone's idea. The purse you use, the phone, your lipstick, your eyeglasses, my suit, everything. This building was someone's idea first. It didn't appear just like this, yeah? This building, or this laptop. No. Somebody had in their mind that, oh, it would be nice to have even this thing. It would be nice not to click it from here, but to click it from here. Yeah? Somebody had that vision, then they started to develop it. Okay, how it can look like. Okay, like this, like this, like this. And then it's actually have been created in the physical world. So everything is created twice, first in mind and then in form. First in thought and then in form. it's the only way how things are. Even baby, yeah? First, it's just a thought, I want to have a baby, yeah? And then, so everything starts from idea, from the thought alone. So don't, and we will talk about this later, about that comfort zone. I will, stay with me, it's gonna be later on, we will deeply dive into that. Because a lot of people actually are struggling this. And this is why a lot of people are actually living their life by default. They just wake up, go to the work, then they return, make dinner, eat, sleep, wake up, eat, sleep, wake up, and it's just like a whoop, whoop, and no, but that life usually brings you to the point of dissatisfaction, of missing opportunities, like you actually waste and miss something in your life. So, to get from where you are to where you want to be, you need to change something, yeah? If you are not satisfied with what you have, you need to change something. This is the only way how things work. So I'm gonna it appeared to me that I didn't say anything about myself, and I just want to share some of my story for you to understand what I've been through. So I'm actually a newcomer to Canada. I'm an immigrant. I'm a newcomer. I only live here for like 2.5 years. It's my second immigration. My first immigration was from Ukraine to Russia. So I immigrated to Moscow, to the capital of Russia, and I've created a very well settled life there. I worked in the biggest bank. I actually was working with chief level executives for more than 10 years. And then, well, war happened. I'm a mom of 2 girls, and when Russia invaded Ukraine, and you already know that I am from Ukraine originally, so you can imagine how it affected me. And my family was there in Ukraine, in Kharkiv, in the city which was bombed first. And those first bombs actually were falling like 5 kilometers away from my grandma's house. So for me, just like stay and enjoy that wonderful, comfortable, familiar life in Moscow was like, no way. It's just like against my values. I can't live like this. So I had to make that hard decision and decide to emigrate the second time when I was like 39 years old, almost 40, when you are already established somewhere, yeah? So I grabbed my 2 underage daughters, my 70 years old mom, and came here to Canada. And I know from my own experience how challenging it is, how tough, how hard it is to build successful life from the scratch. And I had nothing here. I had to find a survival job. I had to find a house. I had to settle my girls to schools. My elder daughter was a professional ballerina. She was studying in St. Petersburg Ballet Academy. I had to find it here. I had to because I couldn't afford to take away her dream from her. So that was another challenge for me. And so I know what I'm talking about. Those changes, they sometimes are initiated by us, but sometimes life does it for us when we are probably too comfortable. I don't know. Sometimes we are pushed by pain just to step into our vision and to start living actually from our purpose. Because for me, that change was so transformative, that I even changed my career. I started my own business. I actually became certified here in Canada, coach here in Canada, internationally, because I realized that I need to help myself to go through that. But I also feel that I can help others to go through that because I do have that experience and I do have like natural skills and abilities and I do have that will to support others. I am being inspired from that. So no matter if the change created by life or by us, the best way we can handle that is just to embrace it. To embrace, change, and grow. We all live and work in fast-paced environment where things move quickly, change rapidly, and we actually live in a constant change. You agree?
Yes.
This world became so unpredictable, so we can never predict that we can even stay in that comfort zone, yeah? Because you never know what life throws on you tomorrow. So, life is a change, and change can be exciting, challenging, but also it can be stressful and demanding. And life requires us to adapt to new circumstances, to juggle multiple tasks, handle deadlines, and multitask efficiently. And that's why so many people feel overwhelmed. They feel stress, anxiety, and they feel that they have no control on their life. And and you already shared that you had felt that, but how many of you experiencing anxiety and stress about what will happen? How many of you have the feeling that they have no control over their life? So, going through change is not easy, let's be honest. It's not easy. But the process of change is actually the same. And I want to share it with you. First of all, I want to say that it's okay not to control everything. This is okay. We can't control what we can't control. I couldn't control Russian government. Yeah, unfortunately. We can't control weather. We can't control elections. What else? What we can't control?
Other people.
Other people. What else?
Life. We can't decide.
Sometimes.
We can't control the system.
Sometimes we can't control ourselves.
Yes, but this is the area for improvement. This is actually where we can do something. But we really can't control other people, their opinions, bigger events, politics and all that stuff. We can't control, and that's okay. But we can control what is within our control. And what is within our control?
Actions, response, all that is in
Sleep.
control.
Yeah.
Food.
Yeah. The gentleman, I don't know your name, who mentioned that we
Yeah.
sometimes don't have
Control
control.
of our lives.
But to be honest, ourselves, it's actually the only thing that we can control. And that's it. The only thing actually that we can control is ourselves. Our thoughts, our feelings, our emotions, and our actions. And I'm not saying that it is easy. It sounds simple, but it's not easy. It's not. But this is where our power is. So, again, what's within our control? We are. Actually, we are. And our lives in terms of creating the vision of our life, setting goals, having dreams, and going for those dreams. So we have the power to choose what we think and how we think. And this gives us power to control our emotions, feelings, our responses, and our actions at the end. And as I already mentioned, that to go from where we are to where we want to be, we need to change something. Yeah? And it's better if you are pulled by your vision instead of pushed by your pain. So don't wait until life is gonna push you, because it will. Because life wants, remember what I told in the beginning? Life is seeking fuller, freer, expanding expression through you. That's why we have our talents, our abilities, and our dreams. So, no matter how change appears, we all need to go through it, correct?
True.
So the best thing is to accept that change. For those who were yesterday and listened to Inga's presentation, yeah, acknowledge where you are. Yeah, change happened. Acknowledge and move from that. So, as soon as you decide to move, especially if you decide to create a change, and I assume that a lot of people here are like entrepreneurs, yeah, business owners, correct?
Yeah.
Or maybe dreaming about that.
Kind of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So when you first set the goal and you think, okay, I'm gonna go for it, you are in zone. So just let me share with you the emotional journey of transformation. Just for you to be aware what is waiting for you when you step into change and how to successfully go through it. And not to fail, but really create the result you want to create. So when you decide for your dream, you are in the zone of uninformed optimism. You're like, okay, I have that wonderful goal, wonderful dream. It's so amazing, I want it. Let me do it. You don't know what expects you there. This is what happened to me. Okay, I'm gonna immigrate to Canada. Canada is a wonderful country. It's like, I'm gonna do that, yeah? So then you start taking actions. And so this is the zone of optimism, and this is the zone of pessimism. Here you have your emotional state, and here you have time. So we can't control time, we already mentioned that, yeah? But we can control what?
Emotional state.
Our emotional state. We can control ourselves. So when you are aware, you have the power to choose how to respond. So when you start taking your steps, your uninformed optimism goes down because you now have more information. Okay, I need that much money to buy my tickets. I need that much money to to book hotel for first time. I need that much money for that, I need to do this, and this. And now I'm starting feeling pessimistic because, oh my goodness, am I really capable of doing that? It sounds kind of overwhelming, it's hard. So you're stepping into the zone of informed pessimism, that you already know that it's not that easy to do that you will need that and that and that, or maybe, I don't know, you will require help of somebody. So you just know that it's not easy. So you are in that zone, and this is the most challenging part. If at that stage of informed pessimism we don't get appropriate help, support, we're not coping, we can't control ourselves, we're going down. We're going down to the death zone, and we're ending up in the valley of despair, where I think oh my goodness, it was so hard to do that. And this is what I felt after a year of being here in Canada. I was just exhausted. I was burnt out because things didn't go the way I planned them to go. And I just find myself that I need, it's hard. I need to do something in order to success, so to have that success, because I want to succeed. I want to be actually successful and live fulfilling life here, and I want my kids to be happy here. I don't want to have another immigration, or I don't want to go back. And this is the stage of valley of despair, where a lot of people do what?
Give up.
Give up.
Mm.
Yeah, they give up. And what happens next? Boom. Another goal, another dream, another zone of informed pessimism, another valley of despair. Give up, boom, cycle again. And like this. And that becomes a vicious cycle. This is how you become unsatisfied and feel kind of unsuccessful, fail, and all that stuff. But you don't fail until you decide that you fail. So it's in our control not to go here. Not to go here. So you know that it's okay to feel that informed pessimism, to get familiar with the situation, to understand that it's kind of challenging, it's hard, but I can do that. I can do that. And I'm, as a coach, support my clients not to go to the valley of despair, going through change, just to stay here. To stay here so they can pass that zone of informed pessimism without going to the valley of despair, and just find themselves here in the zone of informed optimism. So what kind of zone is it? It is the zone where you already know, okay, I don't know that, I don't know how to do that, I don't have that, I need more skills, I need more money, or whatever. But I know that I can get it. Correct? I just know that it's all possible. So I know all the stuff, all the tough stuff, what is happening, but I am optimistic already. Because actually, it will require some work, maybe more than I expected, but I'm gonna do that. Because remember, we are much more capable than we know, and we all have that experience in life. So, and staying and doing, going through, pushing through, creating like those new results in your life, not giving up on your dream, then leads you to the success and fulfillment. Correct?
Yes.
So how many people, how many businesses failed just because they gave up?
So many.
How
Countless.
many people? How many? And it's not only about business, it's not only about like dreams and goals, it's about everything. Every area of your life. Every little thing in your life. If you want something, just keep going, keep doing, no matter what. It may be a relationship, it may be like immigration, it may be education, it may be anything. So just being aware that this is the dangerous zone, and you know what? A lot of people also go to addictions in that zone. Trying to cope this change, trying to cope this challenge, they go to addictions.
So sorry.
So sorry.
So sorry.
Didn't expect it.
We can give you some time so you can like.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. So just be aware that when you are in change, there will be a zone when you will feel like giving up. Just go through it. Push yourself through it. Make it happen for yourself. But that was actually just one cycle of change. Let me show you a bigger picture. If you really decide to go for a big change, and as you mentioned, as the lady, I don't know your name. What is your name?
Daphne.
Darfin?
Yeah.
Yeah, nice meeting you, Darfin.
Nice.
So, Darfin, you like mentioned that comfort zone. So it's actually instinct of social safety, where we are kind of comfortable. It's all familiar. It's not bad. It's maybe not something perfect, but it's not bad. So this instinct of social safety makes us stay in that zone of preservation. And the zone of preservation is a comfortable zone, but you actually limit yourself. You yourself don't let yourself experience more life, more happiness, more love, more abundance, like more life, and be alive actually. So, you see, the cycle of change, if you decide to make a big change in your life, it's never like this. It's always back and forth from the zone of preservation, from the comfort zone to the zone of possibility, to actually like, this is your dream. This is your dream. You start here because your heart lets you know that something is wrong. I want something more. Yeah? If you decide to create change. So, when you have that vision, when you know where to go, this pool of social safety is less than the pool that your vision creates, your dream creates. Actually, when you are being pulled by your vision, you can go through all of those stages. So, I'm not gonna probably go too deep into this. I just want you to know that going through a big change in your life never happens like that. And even this thing represents just this part of the process. Because you will be, when you are going to, like, for your big dream, for your goal, you're stepping out of your zone of preservation and you're stepping into the zone of fear. It's scary. It's scary, it's dangerous there. You don't know how to operate in that new environment. So it's gonna be like this, back and forth, and also emotionally as well. But as you're being pulled by your vision, and as I mentioned, it's so important to have your vision, you will go through these stages actually much more easier than you expect. So, does it make sense so far? Are you still with me?
Yeah.
Do you wanna know a little bit more about this, or it's already enough? So, as I mentioned before, staying in our comfort zone is very comfortable, yeah? That's why it's comfort zone. But even though change may be challenging, stepping out from the comfort zone gives you more freedom, gives you more life, and staying in the comfort zone holds us back from experiencing all that life has to offer, including our dreams. So let me finish with this thought. Your history does not determine your destiny. If you didn't have a dream or a vision, or you weren't satisfied with your life, or whatever is relevant for you, it doesn't mean that you have to stay where you are. It doesn't mean that you can't experience life in a more fulfilling way. So, embrace change, decide for change. First of all, let me say like this: develop your vision, create your dream, create your goal, decide for it, go for it. Know that it's gonna be challenging, but it's worth it. If you wanna grow, if you wanna experience life at a new level. So, for the next 365 days, you will live a year of your life. Next year of your life, starting today. Correct?
Correct.
It's gonna be a year of your life. And you get to choose what kind of life you will live. It's always your choice. Are you staying in your comfort zone, or are you going for more? So today, only for people who are here, if you really want to change your life for the better, I'm opening several spots for a free session. So you can scan this. This is actually my transformative system, which helped me go through challenging times, and how I help others to actually improve their lives, to create better lives, to achieve their goals, dreams with ease and joy, without stress, overwhelming, and burnout. So if you're interested, please go ahead, scan, and I'll be happy to help. And again, feel free to contact me in social medias. I'm posting some content, some like useful content there. So I would like, oh, sorry. sorry. Yeah. Join. I'm doing workshops, so follow me on social medias. I post information there. If you need a portion of inspiration, you can always join. So thank you very much for your time and attention, and never give up on your dreams.
I promise never to give up on your dreams.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
No problem. Thank you so much, Marina, for such an amazing presentation. And I hope we are going to reach out to her. I followed you on Instagram, so I'll definitely get in touch with you. And I know many have followed you. Sarah is here. She's our next speaker. We are happy to see Sarah bringing the youth perspective in entrepreneurship and growing business skills. So we are happy to see you. And once again, Marina, I want to appreciate it. It was such an amazing presentation. Thank you so much. I'll welcome you there.
Hi everyone, it's a huge honor to be here. Unfortunately I came a bit late because of school, but Marina, your presentation was very inspiring. I found it very uplifting. I can't wait. I already follow you on LinkedIn, but I'm so excited to continue to follow your journey. With that, I would also like to express deep gratitude to the organizers and everyone here today. So as a brief introduction, my name is Sarah. I am a 20-year-old climate activist based in Toronto. I'm really passionate about climate education, and that's sort of what got me into the whole climate movement, and more or less transforming our mindset when it comes to how we think about the climate crisis, and more or less how that sort of mindset really can intersect with the work that we want to do in terms of change, in terms of our business, in terms of nonprofit organizations, and even beyond, such as volunteering. So I want to kind of start off with a brief introduction on how we tend to view the climate crisis, because this will really shape the rest of the conversation today. When we think of it, I'm pretty sure we imagine something out of a dystopian storybook. Really, the Arctic ice melting severely. We think about natural disasters, for example, the hurricane that just happened in Florida. We think about the forest fires happening across Canada and globally. When we think of climate change, we're in itself describing a metaphor. It's really a symptom of the fossil fuel industry. It's a symptom of carbon dioxide being pumped into our atmosphere, and it's really a symptom of let's say our rainforests being cut down. The truth is that these are all just words that are thrown into the news, but the climate crisis is personal to each and every single one of us. Every one of us has a story related to the climate crisis. For example, I'm originally from Morocco. My family in Morocco has sort of told us how the drought is so severe there. Even the government of Morocco has issued warnings about drought and reducing water wastage. So the climate crisis, when we think about it, is not just an environmental crisis, it's actually a crisis of connectivity. It's the lack of connection we have to each other, nature, and our environment. And that is why it's really important that every single person around the globe comes together to urge those in the seats of power for climate justice. We often tell ourselves stories that prevent us from taking empathy and action. These are the barriers that make us idle in the face of a problem. For example, when we hear the word climate change, the first thing that comes to mind, as we so call it in technical terms, is eco-anxiety, the worry about our future, about our climate. Sometimes these feelings can be very overwhelming. And this goes beyond climate. This goes to the businesses that we decide to start up, organizations that we support. We tend to feel this worry whether or not we're good enough, whether or not we can actually have an impact. However, these emotions of fear and worry are the same that are holding you back from making the best decisions. We need to make sure that we understand these emotions, and instead of letting them consume our thoughts, we realize that there are 8 billion people on this planet. If every single one of us work together to support and to create a better future, at the end of the day, we will be able to design the sustainable future that we want. Now let's say it's the opposite. Let's say everyone in this room says, my actions don't matter. We will end up being in climate despair. Instead of, let's say, recycling, we'll say, oh, it's just one plastic water bottle. It's not going to make a difference. But the truth is that if every single one of us made that shift in our mindset and thought about the fact that our actions do matter, then we will be saving the planet one step at a time. And that's what we need to realize, is that everyone can take action. I'm approaching this from a climate perspective, being in a climate background, but this goes beyond our climate and to the goals and dreams that we have. We don't need to be experts in the field that we want to create change in. There's often this connotation that, let's say, age is the limit. We're too young, we're too old. We, let's say, need to be a professor in order to design change. We need to be a scientist. We are never too small or too big to make the change that we want to see and make the world a better place. What our world needs is individuals who are willing to push past failure. Small actions can create ripple effects. Even just staying up to date on the latest news, talking about your idea with individuals who can support, and even, let's say, small actions. Sometimes your actions can be bigger. I've talked about individual actions. But I think what's really important is creating change within an existing organization. For example, as I mentioned, I'm really passionate about climate education. Over the summer, I worked with the Bay Area Climate Change Council, who has been working with the government of Hamilton and Burlington, and really trying to create climate justice within those two cities. Now, the issue was they never had any youth consultation or strategy involved in their plan. And this was something that I saw during my time over the summer I could support with. It doesn't always need to be about creating your own organization. It can be about supporting another organization or business and creating a segment, a part of it. Another example I'll share is since high school actually, I've been volunteering with Green Schools, Green Future. Their idea is to build Canada's first environmentally education-focused school in Canada. And this is something that has never been done before. One thing that I'm really passionate about is ensuring about climate education. And so with that, I decided to start my own nonprofit called You Are the Change. It's essentially a youth collective of youth trying to work towards reducing the barriers young people have towards getting funding to start their own projects. Our biggest project ever was our environmental hackathon. And we were able to raise $42,000 to give to youth globally for their projects. And a part of that funding that we got, we donated to Green Schools, Green Future to support their mission of building Canada's first environmental education-focused school. It was sort of a joint effort. And so my point is we should really be able to, of course, create change in our own organizations, but it's okay to ask for support and for help and to join another existing organization to create the change that we wish to see. The key to this, though, is progress and innovation. There have been many debates by the New York Times Climate Conference whether or not progress and innovation is something that we truly need or we should scale back in order to see a better future. I grew up hearing in both textbooks and advertisements that progress is inevitable. that progress meant change, it meant growth, it meant advancement. But when we think about it today, when you think of progress, what do you imagine?
Success.
Success,
Moving towards the right direction.
moving towards the right direction,
Change.
change. Of course, these are all really important terms. When we think of it though, from an environmental perspective, what does progress look like?
Pipes.
Pipes, that's a really important one. What else? You might be thinking, why pipes? Well, because when we think about progress from an environmental perspective, what comes to mind is the fossil fuel industry. How truly right now, most of the energy globally is coming from fossil fuels, so crude oil. And that's what was considered progress many years ago. Progress meant change, it meant taking away from nature instead of giving back to it. And this sort of progress is really at the detriment of our ecosystem. We've been taught that progress means bigger cities, more development, faster technology. But what they didn't tell us is that this would come at the cost of our cities. And so now back to our other point, how when I asked what progress meant, it meant change, it meant a goal, it meant working towards something. That's the mindset we need to have when we think of progress and change. Because change at the end of the day really is all about how can we make the world a better place. All of our goals together really try to transform and issue a barrier that is currently affecting either ourselves, people in our community, or the globally renowned community as a whole. And so we need to change the narrative of what progress and change actually looks like. It's not faster technology, it's not high-rise buildings, it's really about the small sustainable actions we take together to create our goal that is a shared vision for a globally recognized, sustainable, healthy, equitable society from all aspects. And the key to that is to become thought leaders. As thought leaders, we need to focus on moving beyond smaller token actions and being part of a larger change we wish to see. And that starts by understanding the problem. As I've mentioned before, you don't need to be, let's say, an expert in the field you want to work in, let's say climate. I started my journey when I was 12 years old. I had no idea what I was doing. All I knew was that climate change was something really heartbreaking, and that, at that time I knew climate change was cutting down trees. But today my knowledge has grown, and now I'm studying that as to sort of make it a career to really talk about climate justice. But the truth is, we don't need to have that expertise in the beginning because knowledge is something that can be gained. Try to understand the problem that you want to solve. It's amazing to have a solution, to have an idea in mind, but in order to really design the solution to that problem, we need to make sure we have the knowledge and understanding of the issue at hand. By choosing a problem that you are curious to learn more about, you'll be invested long-term into building the solution. The core concept of curiosity is your willingness to create your own opportunities that will be presented to you in the long run. You don't need to wait for solutions to be presented to a problem that needs to be solved. You can design that solution yourself. For example, I've noticed in my community there's this local park. It's called Downsview Park. Essentially, they're trying to really sort of, I guess I wouldn't say cut from the park's green space, but rather instead to transform it into more of a city condominium area with less green space. This was something that is very close to my heart. It's something really new that's been recently trying to be developed. I spoke to my colleagues, I spoke to my students at school from the same district, and we all are working together to try to see how we can make sure our green spaces stay alive. For those who may not know, Toronto has only about 11 to 17% of green spaces left. And these continuously get cut down just for more buildings. And I think what's really important to recognize is that we as the citizens, we as the people on the ground have the power to change the issues that we are concerned about. We do have the power, and it starts with community. It starts with having the knowledge about the problem and then taking action. And so one of the things that myself and my colleagues had done is we shared all these different petitions that were being sent around to our neighborhoods and our communities, and we really tried to see how we can keep the Downsview Park, which is our closest green space, available to many of the communities. And so in order to create your own opportunities is literally the key to accomplishing all your goals and living a life that will unlock countless doors. Instead of waiting for opportunity to knock on your door, you should be willing to knock on the door of opportunity and really take that first step. Now, we've talked a lot about, the first steps, understanding the problem, having the knowledge, doing the research, and realizing, knowledge is something that can be gained. And if that's your barrier, if that's what's preventing you from taking action, then that is a very easy solve. It comes with a quick Google search and connecting with other people, let's say on LinkedIn or conferences like this, and realizing that your solution, your goal is achievable. But what they don't often tell us is that, let's say when you have that knowledge, you have that idea, you may not always know what to do next. Let's say you have the solution in mind. I'll give you an example from high school when I was really interested in climate science. I was sort of really interested in nanotech, which is the technology of molecular structures in a way. And one issue that I was really interested in solving was the oil spill crisis. Oil spills, 10 million tons of crude oil are spilled into our oceans yearly. This kills millions of animals every single year. This was something that really, I was really interested in solving. And so I had done the research, I learned about the issue, I learned about current solutions, none of which are biodegradable, and that take up a lot of time. And so now with this in mind, I was like, what can I do next? What can I do to solve this issue? And this is a barrier and a step that most of us come across when we want to design a solution to an issue that is close to our heart. And that's why I find it's really important to embrace uncertainty. And that's sort of a mindset perspective. It's important to recognize that the path to success or to your goal is not always going to be straightforward. It's going to look something like a linear curve graph, for example. It's going to be very exponential. But it's those small incremental steps that challenge ourselves and that help us reach our goal. Uncertainty is an opportunity for growth and innovation. Be open to new approaches, adapt to challenges, and persist. By navigating the unknown, we really can design solutions that are outside the box. And that's what we need in today's society. Approach challenges with a mindset of adaptability and resilience. Know that the most transformative solutions emerge from the most uncharted territories. Lean into the unknown. Embrace your failures. For example, when designing that oil spill project and trying to design a solution, what ended up happening was my first attempt was very unsuccessful. I had done a bit of research and discovered that biosorbent, sort of orange and pomegranate fuels, they are able to actually absorb crude oil because of their molecular structure, and they're hydrophobic. So in sort of less technical terms, what that means is I was able to design a biosorbent using items that we often throw away, like pomegranate peels, orange peels, to really sort of absorb the crude oil in a crude oil model, which is water and basically oil. The first attempt was very unsuccessful. It only yielded about 80% of oil removed, and currently commercial products do much better. And so it wouldn't have been a very successful trial. I embraced this uncertainty. I didn't know what to do next. I was sort of, as Marina had mentioned, it's sort of that despair. You don't know what to do next, you're very unhopeful. But the key is to embrace that, is to understand that, yes, this is difficult, yes, this is a challenging time, but I'm not gonna give up, as Marina had said. That's very important. I'm not gonna give up, I'm gonna persist. And when I had done so, I had done some more research and eventually was able to design 2 and 3 other prototypes, with the final prototype being a mix between aerogels, which are kind of like tiny beads that absorb oil, with a biosorbent combined. And essentially that had a percentage yield of 98% of oil removed, and it was 100% biodegradable at the end. And so it's really important to see your vision and not to give up, to continuously persist. And there are 2 steps now to dealing with uncertainty. One of the key things that helped me with my project was networking and connections. I believe that those are really important to growing your initiative or your idea. Build relationships with like-minded individuals. At that time, I had known LinkedIn So I had joined on LinkedIn and sent cold emails to different professors, to people working in the same industry that I wanted to create a change in, that I wanted to design a new idea in. And I reached out asking to set up a 15-minute call to just chat about the project that I was working on, and to discuss, the barriers that I'm currently having, and sort of from a professional perspective, what can I do next? LinkedIn is a great opportunity, so I'd highly recommend using the hashtags in the search button to really help you find, let's say, a connection that can support your goal. Even Googling organizations, let's say in the same field as you, based in your region, for example, Toronto. When I had started off my climate journey in education, I reached out to many different climate-based organizations, from TEA to Green Schools Green Future, which I still work with today, and that's really important. And that goes for everything, whether or not you want to get involved, let's say volunteer, and you want to build your own idea. I wasn't always a public speaker. It's something that I've always been interested in. Since elementary school, I used to MC my school's concerts, and it used to just be, me standing in front of the microphone, inviting the next group up. But this was something I've always been interested in. And how I got connected with Doreen Wilson and Tommy was I actually sent them an email for their first expo in 2022, I believe it was. And that's sort of how that journey began. And with that experience, I was able to get more opportunities to now speaking at the United Nations, the World Urban Forum upcoming next week actually, and to really be able to do all that. Thank you. But the key to this is that it takes time. And time isn't something you should see as, a hindrance. It's really on your side. It's about how do you work alongside time to make sure you reach your goal. And a really important key to that is not to compare yourself. That's something we do so very often. I know when I go on LinkedIn, there's so many amazing people doing amazing work, achieving amazing things. And it's really wonderful to see that because we're all working towards the same goal. But a part of you starts to think, maybe I'm not good enough. And that's when that imposter syndrome hits. And that's normal. I personally experienced that, and I tend to sometimes feel like maybe I'm not doing good enough. But what's really important to realize is that everyone is on their own timeline. You can't rush your own success, nor can you compare yourself. My mom used to give me this example: you can't compare a mouse with an elephant. And that basically means you can't compare yourself, day one just started, with someone who's maybe started 10 years before you, because they're obviously going to have had their own, experience on change, their own projection towards their own version of success. And so with that perspective comes shifting your mindset. Shifting your mindset is key to unlocking your potential as a climate leader. Move beyond limiting beliefs. The mindset to which you enter innovation is truly crucial. There used to be a quote hung on my school wall in elementary school, and it was, "Success is your willingness to try." Now, as much as I agree with that, there is a part of it that I also sort of disagree with. I believe that success is your willingness to try after you didn't get the result you looked for. That is what true success is. Your willingness to try after you didn't get the result. Now, this sort of framework and mindset is basically scoping out a positive environment. But now that we've defined what success is, let's define failure. Failure is not, not achieving the result you looked for. For example, in a test, let's say failure, most people might classify failure as you aimed for 100, you got an 80. Well, you failed. No, that is truly incorrect. Failure is standing idle, standing still in front of a problem you know you can solve. That is true failure, because you know you can make a difference, you have the goal, and just because things got a bit challenging, you gave up. That is failure. And so success is after you got that no, after you had that difficulty in that period, you still tried, and that's your success. Whatever your goal may be, just know that no matter how many no's you get, all it takes is one yes to transform your career and to reach your goal. I'm going to give you a story of the founder of Canva. I'm pretty sure all of us have used Canva at least once in our life. Dory nodding. Yes. Now, the founder of Canva, actually, when she started her journey, she got 100 rejections. She had been on, I believe it was Shark Tank even, she had asked investors, and every single person had told her that we don't see the need for a design-based app for non-developers. Essentially, only developers should design. That was a very interesting concept back then because we, and even I, used Canva for my assignments at school. She said she got no 100 times, but it took that 101. She got that yes, and she was able to transform Canva into a $1 billion company, which they now call a unicorn company because of its success. The last piece to achieving your goal is to let yourself imagine what your future could look like. As children, we used to imagine what a better world could look like. Our minds used to be able to dream freely without limitations, to envision a future where everything is possible. But as we grew older, society began to tell us that imagination was for kids. Taking the time to reimagine a better world isn't something that's built into our schedules or valued in our day-to-day lives. The truth is that we need imagination now more than ever. With the climate crisis, with social justice issues, with marginalized communities facing hardship, whether that be from climate to equity in, let's say, STEM careers, we need to imagine what a better life could look like. And we need to be able to create that change and design those solutions. We need to reimagine what an environmentally centric world could look like from everyone's perspectives where everyone is included. Imagination is the gateway to creativity, and creativity inspires action. In this pivotal moment, it is essential to turn empathy into action. To see the struggles of others and the urgency of the climate crisis is not enough. We need to be the ones who are going to disrupt the system and who are going to create that change by, let's say, volunteering, create our own organizations, nonprofits, businesses that really work towards a climate just future. Practicing hope and resilience is key. Yes, the challenges we face when we design and we work towards our goal is daunting, but hope is not passive. It is active. It is a driving force that keeps us moving forward even through the most difficult times. Apathy and indifference create a barrier to engagement, as many of us fail to recognize. Climate change is like a puzzle piece. Many global challenges or crises stemmed from human activity together. But by focusing on one issue, we can essentially break down this huge puzzle piece and choose one that we're really interested in and solve. I want to end today's presentation on a note of hope that is really important. I'll start with the climate piece first, and then I'll move on to more general. Change starts with each of us. Climate change, like one of many issues, is really going to determine our today, our tomorrow, and the young generation's right to a healthy, sustainable, equitable planet. The next time you hear the word climate change, or the next time you hear the word that is impossible, I want you to reframe your perspective and realize there is hope. But we can't have hope alone. You need to create that hope by taking action. And you can create that hope by designing a goal and working towards it, which essentially starts by taking action. Thank you all so much.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you so much. When I look at you, I really see that dreams come true. I think this is going to be the second time you're going to speak at the UN.
Sixth.
Sixth,
Yeah.
so you can imagine. So everything is possible. You just have to dream, have a dream, be patient, take your route, don't follow anyone's route. You can listen to advice, but take your pace and you reach there. Thank you, Sarah. We're supposed to have our last speaker. Then wait for an update from Wilson, and the speaker will be the speaker has very great information about applying for funding and grants, and I know we will really benefit from his presentation.